Have you ever felt like self-sabotage was easier than self-care? Well, there were periods in my life where that was true for me. I thought that something was wrong with me because basic acts of self-care felt incredibly difficult. For example, like getting out of bed, feeding myself, hydrating, brushing my teeth, holding a job, holding on to relationships. Those things felt incredibly difficult. And in my head, they were supposed to be simple because that's what I saw around me or what I thought I saw. But really, that's not true because self-care is part of the human experience, and in the human experience, we struggle, which makes us even more human. But we're always striving for more in the ways of bettering ourselves. I realized I wasn't alone when I was in rehab, actually, because there were so many people that were struggling with similar acts of basic self-care. And even when I was transitioning out of rehab and had some sober time under my belt, I noticed that your regular, smegular people struggled with self-care. And I was like, okay, this person's overweight, but they're on a walk. They're striving, to better their mood, get some movement in. Like, the more I became present in life to the world around me, I noticed how similar people are in general, and different. But the biggest takeaway through my journey is that when your body changes, your needs change. And also, when things change in your life in general, this could be like the environment, the people you're around, whatever, you have to adapt. Your body, your being, you have to adapt. And self-care can become frustrating, and it can be a struggle at times, and other times it can be flowing with ease. Anyway, my name is Montana, if you don't already know me. I like to talk about things that aren't talked about, and this video is going to be about self-care. So the first dot point that I want to talk about is why do I think so many people struggle with self-care but rarely talk about it? I think that many people believe self-care should come naturally, and that we often assume everyone else besides ourselves has it figured out. Therefore, we don't talk about it as much. Or maybe we carry shame, or we're ashamed that maybe we can't brush our teeth a second time or floss our teeth every day. I think that shame can also make us hide and dig ourselves a hole, hiding not only from struggles but judgment of struggle. And I think our identities often become tied to work, productivity, caregiving, or achievement. As someone from the USA, the USA is, I would say, an individualist culture more so. And I think as a country, we struggle with perfectionism, as well as our identities being based off of our wealth, and our worth being based off our financials, which is sad. But we can change that. We can change our belief system. Yet again, though, most of us were never really taught what self-care actually is. Therefore, it's also a generational pattern. So, what is self-care? Self-care is the intentional practice of supporting your well-being. It begins with caring for your body's basic needs. These basic needs include nourishing your body with food, hydrating, sleeping, movement. This includes hygiene and rest. Self-care also supports the other dimensions of wellness. So this includes emotional, social, financial, environmental, intellectual, occupational, spiritual. And it's about creating balance, not perfection. It is also learning to support yourself as a whole person. And all the things that I listed connect to everything. Because if you don't have a good foundation of basic needs, your life will be more difficult than it has to be. So that's why getting self-care down, your self-care down, and listening to your body and your needs are very important. My next stop point is, why can self-care feel difficult? And I think that social media often portrays self-care as luxurious or aesthetic. We're not taking bubble baths with bath bombs and rose petals every day, okay? That's good, if you're doing you're treating yourself or whatever, but realistically, no. At the end of the day, after work, are we tired? Probably. So, that's why it's just focusing on the basics. It can be magical. It can become magical, self-care can, but that also takes practice, just like anything else. And I think sometimes self-care isn't what we want to do, but it's what we need to do until we start enjoying that process. I just want to reiterate this. Struggling with self-care doesn't mean something is wrong with you. And especially asking for help is an act of self-care. This leads right into the next dot point. Can self-care be uncomfortable? Absolutely. Growth involves discomfort, and breaking old habits can feel dreadful. With that being said about self-care, today I wanted to walk you through a guided practice, appreciating a part of our body that supports us every single day. And that is going to be our feet. Our feet carry us through work, school, adventures, difficult seasons, joyful moments, but we rarely pause for them, let alone notice them and appreciate them. So if you are not a foot person, I would skip this. Get yourself into a comfortable position, and if you'd like to add lotion, you can. I will be using coconut oil today. Taking off your socks is optional, you don't have to. And just get into a comfortable position. And yes, I do have sparkly toes. They're cute. Anyway, so we're gonna begin by gently wrapping our hand around one foot. It doesn't matter which one that is, it's gonna be like this. So your thumb is on the bottom part of your foot and your fingers are on the top. And just notice the temperature of the lotion. Notice the temperature of your foot. Notice the texture of your foot. Now, we're gonna start at the heel. You don't have to if you don't want to. So starting at the heel, we are going to start gently putting our thumb in circles and massaging our heel. And we're gradually going to massage up to our toes. And just notice any sensations that you feel along the way. Is there any places that feel neutral? Places that are tight? If there are tight sensations, just give that spot a little extra time. When you're ready, switch to the other foot, because you have two. And you're gonna do the same thing. Wrap your hand around that foot and start at the heel. Move slowly, there's no need to rush. And now just pause anywhere that feels tight or tender and just notice it. Breathe naturally and slowly move up the entire foot. Notice if you feel any warmth, tightness. You can change your massage technique too. There's nothing to change. If you feel any sensations, just simply notice. Now, take one final breath. Not final. And thank your feet. Thank them for carrying you through the day, supporting your life. And that would be it for the guided foot spa practice. Anyway, this wasn't just a foot massage, it was a practice of slowing down, paying attention, expressing gratitude, responding to your body's needs with kindness. And sometimes self-care begins with something as simple as noticing the parts of ourselves that quietly support us every day. What is one small act of self-care you can offer yourself today? Thank you for joining me today. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a beautiful day.